Yeah, that's right. So John Suffolk getting grilled yesterday in this hearing in front of UK lawmakers yesterday. This comes against the backdrop of the UK trying to decide what role Huawei will play in building out these 5G networks. So that was the focus of the hearing, was security of these networks. Is Huawei a credible, builder? Can it build this out, or should they rely on other infrastructure players here? In general, the sense was very, very heated, and the idea was that the lawmakers were questioning him on whether Huawei would comply with the Chinese law that allegedly forces a company to share intelligence if Beijing requests it. Here was his response as to how the company would reply if that happened.
We're quite clear, and it's quite proven we're an independent company. No one can put us under pressure. We've made it very clear, regardless of who the country would be, if we were to be put under any pressure by any country that we felt was wrong, we would prefer to close the business.
So Huawei's global cybersecurity and privacy officer kind of sticking with the company line there that they would not provide information to the Chinese government, denying that it would ever engage in any form of spying. British lawmakers didn't completely buy it. They said this is a law and we're not sure how you would get around this. So kind of a debate there. I will say there was no clear resolution as to which way they're leaning in terms of letting this Huawei into the country.
If we think about the history for the UK and Huawei, I mean, BT was one of the first partnerships that Huawei had. So there's been a journey with these two companies together, which I think is sort of explains why there has been a position in the UK to stick with the Chinese company, not necessarily in the United States. So there must be a level of trust that's been built up for, after what, 15 years of business together. That's right,
and that was a point that he continued to make. We have a precedent here. We already work with your mobile operators in this country. We don't necessarily, there's no evidence, Huawei continues to say there's no evidence that we've engaged in this. However, at the same time, there is this cybersecurity report that's been issued since 2010 here in the UK evaluating the security risk that Huawei poses, and there continues to be a significant threat according to that report. Now, that report specifically points to weaknesses in Huawei's equipment and in its software. It's not necessarily tied to Chinese state interference. And that's sort of an important distinction in that it's more about kind of this equipment and how it's made. Maybe it's a little bit shoddy, but not necessarily because of spying risks. And so there's this continuous kind of push-pull about how much is this about, the geopolitical threat, and how much is it about Chinese equipment in general and Huawei's general relationship.
Point about the equipment and the quality of it, because it is also considered fairly high quality when you compare it to some of the rivals, and particularly for the cost as well. I think one of the issues has been how quickly the company has grown and where the security requirements are now at globally, that whether it's an Ericsson or it's a Nokia or it's a Huawei, there is a need for the regulation to be here and for the companies to jump even higher than that regulation. So things have just changed, haven't they? And that's where some of the gaps might exist between Huawei and other companies.
And one of the executives in this company often say we're able to keep up faster with these changes than any of the other providers, and that's why mobile carriers are continuing to turn to us, because we have the best technology at often a lower cost. Now, it's unclear necessarily with 5G. We haven't really seen these networks in action fully fledged. We've only seen, test trials here. So it's hard to know exactly how that will play out with Huawei's equipment or with any other operator's equipment at this point. But, sticking with the line there that they continue to be a credible threat, at least in front of lawmakers.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for that.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.